Hey guys, welcome to Punk Rock Storytellers Plugs. I'm your host Brad Hesse, and tonight we have Jessica, Mike, and Josh from Perfect Season on.
Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey guys, how you guys doing tonight?
You?
Doing all right. Let you do your thing.
Yeah. So we have 6 songs that we're playing. So do you want us to just go through the songs?
Yeah. So, play your songs, tell your story, and yeah, we'll talk
Alright,
after.
sounds good. Thank you. Alright.
Thank you, guys.
It's actually called Hold On Tight. We released it a year ago, about a year and a half ago. So this one was about a really toxic relationship that I had a couple years back, and whenever it's basically about trying to hold on to something that somebody else didn't want, like the other person didn't want to be in that relationship, and you giving your all, but even with or without that person, there's always going to be a new day. So yeah, go ahead. Now is the time to man up, and you'll need to back that up. Try your heartbeats, aim and you'll miss the target. I haven't got yourself into this time. That's the making, taking so much away from me. Don't sit back and watch the world crash around me. Don't let you put me down this time. Maybe if we all run time, maybe if we run time, in the morning, maybe we can find a light. So these possibilities keep spinning in my mind. Is this heavy, taking over me? What have I done myself to this time? Spend the making, taking so much away from me. Don't sit back and watch the world crash around me. Don't let you bring me down this time. Maybe if we don't have time, maybe if we don't try, in the morning, it's not alright. Don't sit back and watch the world crash around me. And I won't let you bring me down this time. Don't sit back and watch the world crash around me. And I won't let you bring me down this time. Maybe if we don't have time, maybe if we don't try, in the morning, it's not alright. Yeah, that was one on tight. So I practiced like reading this and like speaking about these songs, and it's really hard when you're trying to speak about these songs. Because in that moment of writing, I feel like you know what you're talking about, and you still know whenever you're singing it, but it's really hard. But the next one's Butterfly. So this was about that same relationship that I wrote What Untied about, but fast forward 2 years later, I'm actually dating this person, or almost dating this person. So I told him before we started the relationship, I was like, look, you can either stay and you can fight for this relationship, or you can leave, you can go. Because I told him, is this actually what you wanted? Am I what you wanted? Because it always seemed like it wasn't what he wanted. And in the song, it's saying how I admired this person and how I felt about this person. And it's saying that love is very patient and it's kind and it's everything that you want it to be. So that's what this song is about. It is just that beginning of the relationship and it being everything that you wanted it to be and hoped for it to be. This is everything I want to be. This is everything I ever dreamed of. 'Cause this feels like home to me. Can you tell me what it's like to be in love? Those eyes, they share such grace. Your touch, something to embrace. Like a rider, the passion never fades. To find me, yeah, you have to turn the page. Memories of love and life. Memories of Lord, this time is the chance to make things right. I won't let go. One more time. Fly or flight. This time will be different, and nothing will ever break it. It takes time and patience. It takes dedication. Love is patient and kind. It is not so secret. Put the pain in yourself and someone else. And someone else. Memories of love tonight. And memories my heart is done. Memories of love tonight. And memories my heart is done. It's the chance to make things right. I won't let go. This is my time. Won't let go. This is my time. Won't let go. This is my time. Yeah, that was Fight or Flight. We're actually releasing a music video, hopefully November, December for that song. But on to the next one. The next one is called Unknown Faith. So back again with that relationship. See, I wrote a lot of songs about that relationship, and it's so funny. No, sadly no. But back to that, it was kind of like a through a high school kind of relationship into my adult life. So yeah, that just carried on. But Unknown Faith is the ending of that relationship. The ending, for sure. Like it was the ending. It was the ending of this relationship that I had with this guy. And whenever I fell out of this relationship, I felt like I had lost myself because I had fallen for somebody straight right after that relationship, and I felt terrible about it. But the thing is, I felt like with this person who came into my life, I felt like I was craving that attention that I didn't get from the relationship that ended. So the song Unknown Faith is about me just losing myself and finding my way back within like my life with music and just finding myself rather than relying on somebody else to find myself. So yeah, the Unknown Faith. As my faith is at its out, my heart is turning into thin white sounds. Broken by the people we call home, somewhere to run and no place to call my home. This is the tragic story of what is left to be. Please take when you waste my time on a path that wasn't really mine. I'm not gonna let this go. I'm not gonna fall to the ground. Waiting around for someone to catch me now. This isn't gonna keep me down. Maybe it's a long night drive, sleepless nights of not wanting to say goodnight. Regretting the things you crave the most, bury the bones of the past you can't let go of. This is the tragic story of what is left to you here. And in the end, it'll be just like you and me. I'm not gonna waste my time on a path that wasn't really mine. I'm not gonna let this go. Gonna fall to the ground, waiting around for someone to catch me out. This isn't gonna keep me down. This isn't gonna keep me down. And have I lost my way? This isn't an unknown thing. And have I lost my life? This isn't an unknown thing. I'm not gonna waste my time on a path that wasn't really mine. I'm not gonna let this go. I'm gonna fall to the ground, wait around for someone to catch me now. This isn't gonna keep me down. This isn't gonna keep me down. This isn't gonna keep me down. Have I lost my mind? This isn't nothing. The next one is called Head versus Heart. It's a new one. So this is the last one about a relationship, I swear. In the set.
We're just filling in, so it's
Okay.
okay.
They're filling in, by the way. This is Mike and this is Josh, as they said before. But they're filling in because Chris and Alfonso couldn't be here. But this is the next song. This song is about. Y'all have five behind me.
Just maybe. Just
Oh, okay. So this song was about just the relationship I was recently in. I believe that every relationship, it teaches you a lesson, whether it's good or bad, whether the falling out was good or bad. Every relationship teaches you a lesson. And the thing is, whenever I wrote this song, it was about like how I fell head over heels for this guy. And it doesn't mean just because it ended that I didn't love him any less, or, you don't love this person. It's just, it didn't work out. But you learned something. You can't say that you hate somebody because they taught you something, whether it's you growing as a person or them growing as a person. And I grew from that relationship. And the thing is, whenever we ended, things ended peacefully. And we both said, this isn't what was meant for us. We both had to go our separate ways to grow as people. He had to grow and I had to grow. And in every relationship, at the end of the day, like, even if you love that person, sometimes you have to let that relationship go to be happy and not be selfish, not only like for you, but for the other person. You always have to think about them. So that's what this song's about. Okay. Darkness lurking in my head. With every single moment, it's looking red. How can I make such a sacrifice? Will this make me feel alive for the first time? If the moon ain't going down, is it the life we expected? If I know happy place again, look out to the sky, don't look down and change your mind. And it's where your heart is in the end. In the end, it's a shame that through the night, the moon is leaving just as bright as the sun. Waiting for the follow through. Every single second, I know I'll learn to sin. I know I'll be protected. Going down, is it the life we expected? If I know I'm happy place again, look out to the sky, don't look down and change your mind. And it's where your heart is in the end. In the end. In the end, this is left to descend over and over again. I will not fight, I will find my life that I have inside. It's my guide through these times. Going down, it down, it takes all my heart. That is what you're hoping in the end. In the end, I go out to the place again. Joe, what? Oh my God, we're flirting with each other on camera.
On camera.
Okay, enough of you two. There's two more songs. The next one's called Perfect Season. Whenever I wrote the song, it was my senior year, and
We're panicking over here.
okay, I wrote the song my senior year, and I was going through a really rough time. So through high school, I had a lot of rough patches. I lost my mom and I lost my grandma. Right after I lost my grandma, though, is when I wrote this song. It was for anybody that was having a rough time. Because when you think of seasons, seasons are new beginnings and the endings. Between each season, you have a beginning and an ending. So that was for me my new beginning to an awful ending, basically, which was my high school. So this is for anybody who's had a rough time. I know a lot of people that have heard the set shows can relate to the song as soon as they hear it because it tends to mean a lot, not only to me but to other people. So this is Perfect Season, and then we have one more after this. Everything is changing, gotta get back to where I was. I was happy, I was fine. Then you took all that was mine. Life gets hard, but when you let your cards right, I'm sure it'll be alright. Hold down, get back up, and realize that you got enough. Everything happens for a time. Every time, every stop, you don't want to hurt you when you are. Everything happens for a reason. When it's hard, you're thinking on the clock. We're on top, gonna hit the jackpot. We've got this all right. Now I found my place. Not gonna be a disgrace anymore. No one ever mind. Oh yeah, get back up, realize that you're not enough. Everything happens for a reason. It's time, I know you stop. You don't want to hurt anyone. Everything happens for a reason. Till everything's right in my life once, yeah, I know that this will happen to again. Don't you get back out and realize that you've had enough. Everything happens for a reason. Oh yeah, get back out and realize you've had enough. Everything happens for a reason. You talk and you talk, but you don't want to really want. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. That was good. I didn't mess up. I'm proud of y'all. So this is the last one. I'm
Not
actually,
ourselves.
yeah, I know. No, okay.
Okay. It's our thing.
Hey, thanks. So they're gonna walk off now.
Yo.
I'm gonna hear. So this song is called Life Lessons. It's the last song. So whenever I wrote this song, I wrote it whenever I was having a rough day. And this song is about just, the thing is, people always say that they wish that they can change things that happen in their life. And for me, I wouldn't change anything. Do I say that once in a while? Yes. I say, man, I wish things would be different. Man, I wish this could change. But honestly, I would not want things to be different because I wouldn't be the person that I want to be, who I am. You know, I have great friends, great family, great band members. I have so much in my life that I'm very thankful for. My dad, he is another reason I wrote the song because he is the reason I get to make these mistakes. He lets me make these mistakes and he lets me learn on my own. And he's always taught me how to be a good person, I guess, because he's always been somebody I looked up to for that. My dad's the best human being I know, and the song's about just grabbing everything in life and taking it in, whether it's good or bad, and, you know, making that into who you want to be. I forgot my words. Pause. Yeah, I have. So the thing is, I usually play with my band like all the time. Those guys actually learned those songs within a day, and I'm very thankful for them because they took their time. When you know, my guys, they had to do other things and they had other priorities, which I understand completely, and I'm very thankful for that.
We love you, girl.
I love you guys. So young and naive, what the hell was I thinking? Everything's right in front of me. Some mistakes I made, and they're haunting me. They won't let me breathe. I'm slowly figuring this out. Even if I can't find a way out, I'm trying not to be a letdown. Even when the past comes back around, what if life was perfect always? No troubles, no worries in the world. What if that's without having heartbreak? And life has to be who you are today. As the rain is pouring down, the silence rises now. They say this all will pass. How long will that pain last? You feel time running out. You're about to drown. Your last chance is now. I'm slowly figuring things out, even if I can't find a way back. I'm trying not to be a letdown. Even when the past comes back around, what if life was perfect always? I wish I was no worries in the world. What's the adventure without having heartbreak? And know you wanted. What if life was perfect always? Would it be sunshine with no rainy days? What's a journey without falling? It's all the memories you take away. And yeah, that's our set. Thanks.
Hold on.
Hi, you're back. Y'all can come back on camera if you want. No, they don't want to come back. So you got me.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
No, like now that we like got over all the technical difficulties, that you guys did great. Like I was amazed that they pretty much just learned all the songs. You guys sound like you've been playing together for years.
So yeah, I'm gonna get closer to the camera so it's easier to talk to you. So I have known these guys for a long, long time. Like I've known Mike for 6 years, I think, and I've known Josh about the same amount of time, but we were more acquaintances, and we started talking more and hanging out more, and building this friendship. Mike was actually in my band Trademarks whenever I first started. I started playing when I was 16, and I'm 21 now. So whenever I was 16, I played acoustic for like 2 years. And then when I turned 17 or 18, I can't remember, we started Trademarks. And Mike was my guitarist in Trademarks. So I've been playing with Mike a really long time. So I guess the comfortability is there with these guys. And, I trust them. Like whenever I told my guitarist, like I was like, okay, I'm going to get Josh and Mike. He was like, you have great guys, because I have not played with anybody else other than Chris for the past 2 years. Like Chris has always been right next to me, playing my songs for me and everything. So he was like, whenever he was like, I trust you guys, I was like, well, I have, a lot of faith in them, and so does he. So,
No, it's awesome. Like you gotta love the camaraderie of just have like a solid bandmate that when you're with them for a long time.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
So like I realize it's been a month since I like booked you guys. That whole month went by so quick. And like usually like when I'm booking everybody, I give them kind of like a little listen, and then they kind of get their own day when their episode's airing,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I forgot how much you guys, and this is like a complete positive, like because I like to play the influence game when I'm listening to it, or who you guys remind me of. And like the two I came up with were Candy Hearts, so I don't know, which love Candy Hearts, and then like Cruiserweight from from Austin.
I haven't heard them.
Awesome, like they're awesome if you haven't heard them. Like so, like I don't know if you know the Impossibles at all.
No.
But the Impossibles bass player started this band called Cruiserweight, and I grew to love them because I was such an Impossibles fan. So
yeah, I have to give them a listen. Like as soon as we get off, like I'll definitely give them a listen.
Secret Weaponry. I would check out that album if you do.
Okay, most definitely, yeah.
But yeah, it was like I dug you guys because it's like the two bands you guys reminded me of.
Thank you. So like those songs, they definitely put their own flair into those songs, which I definitely loved. Like we have a whole EP recorded that we have not released, and it's crazy to me because every time I hear the songs, I'm like, oh yeah, we recorded these. We still haven't released them, but they're there. So we've been holding out. So we released Hold On Tight last year, and then this year we're gonna release Fight or Flight, and we're gonna release a music video. I just feel like we needed to take that time though to release things correctly and be patient with everything, because I'd rather take the time to release something and make it everything that we want it to be than release it all at once and be disappointed with the outcome, I guess.
Right, like I found there is that build up with album cycles and everything. Like the only person I've ever seen pull it off, where it's just like surprise release, was Jeff Rosenstock, and honestly,
yeah,
Like, but you guys, I can always respect the traditional cycle like idea, just because it's like, for me, I can't just put it all out there myself.
It's hard. It's hard putting yourself out there in general, I think, and that's the biggest thing for us. All of us, we we save up all our money and we put a lot of money into everything. And that's the thing. Like a lot of bands, like everybody who's in a band will know how much money and time it takes, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
the biggest thing. Like you're dropping hundreds of dollars, so why not go all out and just spend, whatever you can to be able to have yourself a good release. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. Like ours, I think our last record cost so much to make. It was, and it's like we didn't really have much after, like, 'cause we weren't familiar with budgets yet, and
Yeah.
so like we couldn't really do like videos. So we're like, well, we're doing lyric videos, like solid generic lyric videos, whatever. Just to get the stuff out there a little bit at a time.
No, and that's what we're thinking of doing. But we did record the. It's funny because like everybody's like, dude, when are you releasing something? I'm like, look, it's already ready to go. Like we have the video, we have the work. It's just we want to put a lot of time and just money into the promotion. And with COVID-19 too, it's been kind of a back on everybody. So I did give one of the guys their money back that they gave me for the release, because I was like, look, we can push the release back, but you can have your money. Like I'd rather you spend it on something that you need to versus this right now, because your life is important right now, and I know everybody's going through such hardships right now.
Right.
So that's the whole other thing. Everybody's going through that hardship of money.
Well, like, so much shut down. Like, I mean, I don't know what it is like down in Texas as far as like what was the essential worker thing like for you guys?
So for us, whenever everything shut down, like fast food was open, HEB, Walmart, limited hours. Other than that, everything was pretty much shut down. Like liquor stores were open in Texas, so you could do that. Delivery service were open, so that kind of stuff was open. I'm a server at IHOP, so we were shut down for 2 months, and then I started back about a month ago at work. So since everything's opened up, we are open. You can be a server and be working right now. There's not really limits, but I know that Austin's in like stage 4 right now. That's what I heard. So it's the second wave is definitely hitting, and that's the scary part of things. Like I know that we have a show booked in Bay City, Texas, in a few weeks that we had booked a couple of months ago. So we're just keeping an eye on everything right now. A lot of bars are taking a lot of the precautions of face masks and staying at a table seated, no moshing, that kind of thing. But it's still scary to go out and be in a bar and everything.
Oh yeah. Well, plus, South by Southwest. I was trying to think of that. I don't know why I blanked on that. Like that's one of the biggest festivals ever.
Yeah.
In the indie market,
Yeah.
But like, yeah, when that shut down, it was like, oh wow, this is serious.
Yeah. I think it was a week before they shut everything down is when we were supposed to play, not South by Southwest, but during South by Southwest at one of the little coffee shops. And we were invited to play, and they were like, yeah, it's still going on. Then like the day before the show, they were like, oh, by the way, the show is canceled, COVID's just spreading. And I was like, oh man. And then like all these tours started getting canceled and everything started getting canceled. And it was like, oh wow, this is nuts,
Oh yeah, we were writing, and then all of a sudden, like we weren't doing anything because it hit, and like the quarantine hit, and so it's like we ended up having to do our like anniversary episode 2 days ago, like on no practice, nothing, and we were all really surprised by how tight we were.
Yeah, it was
like,
happening.
it was like so like wait how like we haven't seen each other since March.
Yeah, and me and the boys we practiced like a couple of weeks ago, and we were like, "Hey, we can still do this, kinda." Like it's still there. It's kind of rough, but we can still do this.
Right. Like it becomes more surprising than anything.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I really hope that I just want people to stay safe, and that's what I told my band members. I was like, if y'all don't feel comfortable doing shows, we don't have to do it, but we had booked this like so in advance that it's hard to back out, and I don't want to back out on these guys because it's their EP release. And the guys told me, because my dad has like heart conditions and everything, so they're like, Jess, it's mostly up to you, like if you want to play this. And the thing is, since I'm a server, I'm around people constantly, like I'm overnight, so I have to be there with all these customers and dealing with all these people all at once. So as long as I keep my mask on, a lot of people say that doesn't help, but I feel like any precaution you can take, like if you have it, it prevents you from giving it to people, I feel like, at least. And you have to sanitize and just wash your hands. As long as you're doing all those things and keeping yourself safe, you can keep everybody safe.
Right. And like honestly, it helps slow the spread at least, if anything.
Exactly. I don't think people realize that though. Like I've seen a lot of just like careless people, I feel like, just not doing all these things, and it's like, dude, y'all can't see it, but people are really getting sick from this at this point. There's not as many deaths, but it's starting to spike again. But the fact that quarantine helped a lot, I feel like the quarantine, they didn't do that long enough. I feel like we should have been shut down, especially like IHOP. We should have been shut down for a while longer to stop the spread of it, because now everybody has to wait on shows, and we have to wait on all these things because it's still spreading.
And what is the one place, like, or one of two places people go, well, I guess three, like, that people go to after bars like close and everything, after shows, whatever, is IHOP, Waffle House, McDonald's.
Exactly.
We'll say fast food.
I get drunk people on a daily basis, and I have even told people, I'm like, where did you come from? They're like, oh, we went to this bar, we came from this bar. Like, I will get the drunkest people on my shift, and I'm just like, oh man, I have to deal with these people. And it's like, they're not all there. And with drunk people, they like to talk a lot, they like to get close to you, and I'm just like,
right, boundaries. And
you gotta stay over there.
it kind of becomes like you kind of going through your head like, please don't throw up on the table, please don't throw.
Exactly. Like I have not had that yet, thankfully, but a lot of other servers have. I've known people who have thrown up outside or in our bathrooms, but oh no, another server, she told me about like a horror story like that, where somebody threw up in the booth and she had to clean it up, because on night shift you don't have like, you have your manager, you have one server, maybe 2 or 3 on the weekend, and 2 cooks. You don't have a busser, you don't have a dishwasher sometimes, so you don't have other people to clean that. It's either you or your manager, and who are they gonna get? They're gonna get you, most likely.
We when I used to bartend, so we used to have this like shot challenge. There'd be like 2-ounce shot glasses of like we had a bar like where it was like 86 beers on tap, and they would get 2-ounce shot glasses of everything on that first handle, and it'd be like on one of those ski shot holders.
Yeah.
And they had to down it in under a minute, like, or the best time, whatever.
Yeah.
And if they could down it in under a minute, it was free or whatever. And then they couldn't, like, you can't, obviously you have to be able to hold it down.
Yeah.
So we had a 5-gallon, like, one of those sauce buckets, like the Sweet Baby Ray's empty sauce bucket, like, that was the bucket they used, like, and, they got through it. Like, one girl completely missed the bucket. So I was like, yeah. And then, like, the other girl actually, managed fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just like, yeah, I had to mop that up. Like,
oh know. See, I feel like I would have been the girl throwing up in all honesty because I'm such a lightweight. No, no,
Right, especially pounding beer like that, like
no. I
2 ounces each. No, because it's like downing so many pints at once, like 2-3 pints at once.
Yeah, I feel like halfway through I would have been done, been throwing up. It actually takes a minute for me to start throwing up. I don't feel it until I get up and start walking. So, yeah, no.
I probably would have gotten through it, but immediately after had to throw. Yeah, like you guys sound pretty similar to Wisconsin as far as how like the whole thing was handled, though. I couldn't remember the thread we were on because we got to talking about the serving aspect of it.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Like it's something to talk about, obviously. Like, and you know that's something we both have in common, so it's easy to kind of complain or whatever.
Complain about the stories, talk about the drugs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's weird being a server because that I used to work at a music store. I used to work at Sam Ash Music, so going from Sam Ash to serving was definitely different for me, and I'd never done it in my life. But now it's gone easier. But I was a morning server, so after the whole COVID, I went to nighttime shifts, which I had done a couple of nights here and there. But definitely.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Like it's you know what it's like to have to deal with the drunks and everything. Like no signs. They don't have a sign anymore. So it'd just be whatever. Sorry if we ordered some food.
It's okay.
So like I forgot what I was gonna ask you.
I do that all the time.
So the new record.
Yes.
This one's Fight or Flight.
So what we're doing is like we had like a whole EP recorded. What we're doing is we're just gonna release them as singles. I feel like this day and age, singles are more likely to get listened to than EPs. And my like knowledge, like what I've seen and everything, is people putting out singles. Listeners are more drawn to singles now. Why I have no idea, but especially as a band just starting off, we're gonna do singles. So yes, Fight or Flight is going to be what we release in hopefully November or December if we get everything together in time. That's what we're aiming for, though.
That's good though. I mean, like just in time for Christmas, and like you get that first single out, and you can spread it out or whatever.
Yeah, I know that. Like whenever, so we recorded Fight or Flight, and it has like a woodsy kind of feel, and it has like a fall feeling. Whenever we recorded it, because we shot the video in December, and I feel like whenever we recorded it with our producers always told us, release the songs based on the feeling of the songs, the seasons, and everything, so that the listener is feeling what you're feeling. So that's why I told the guys, hey, this, you have this slow song, this song that people can relate to. Like whenever it's fall and winter, people get more in touch with, like, I guess, more like sad side of things and more like slow side of things. So I feel like if we would release it in the summer, it's not like a poppy jam that you can like play on your car while you have the windows down. It's not something like that, but it's more something that you can listen to when you're at home with your family.
Right, yeah. So if you release it in the summer, you have that pressure to have the summer single and something that's gonna be fun and everything. Whereas like if it's more emotional, it's better to release fall, winter.
Yeah.
Which is I think because that was what Motion City used to do. Like,
yeah, we worked with Kevin Gates from Reach Audio. Kevin is very knowledgeable on everything, and he's taught us a lot about like releasing things. And whenever we have questions, we're just like, Kevin, like, how should we do this? Because he's been in this business for so long. He's had so many successes and everything. So I'd rather listen to somebody who has this knowledge versus to try to do it myself. And I've learned from other people and how they release stuff and how how successful they've been with their releases, and I'd rather do that kind of thing. Like I had no idea what like PR promotion was until like last year, you know. So that's
Right.
thing that helps you a lot.
No, and like I found it was better. It's always better to have, like, especially pop producers. They work with so many different types of artists. Like, I remember when we did ours, that we had a more poppy producer, and then we had like somebody who was more punk at mixing.
Yeah.
So it kind of like we got the sound we wanted that way. But it was better to have the pop producer because it's just like he had ideas we wouldn't even thought of because
Exactly. Yeah.
we're coming from a punk rock world. It's just, click the button, hit record, and we'll go. Like,
No, Kevin. Whenever we recorded Perfect Season, it's funny because whenever Perfect Season was recorded, the song itself, the track has background vocals and it has bells and all these things. And Kevin was like, "Let's put this in there. Let's put these sounds in there. Let's do something like this." And it was actually just me and my good friend AJ. AJ took me up there to Missouri to go and meet Kevin, and he was like, "Okay, we're gonna record the song. We're gonna do this. You know, you're gonna get, I guess, just encouragement and the courage to do all these things," because I had no idea what I was doing. I think I was 18 or 19 whenever I went to Missouri and I first met Kevin. And I was in this downfall kind of state. And I was like, I don't want to do music anymore. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the next steps are. So I reached out to AJ, and AJ was like, "You know what? We're going to take a trip to Missouri. We're going to do this. We're going to record a song." And I was like, "Are you serious right now?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so we recorded that song. And that was kind of where my confidence definitely boosted. And I was like, maybe this is something I can do. It was just one of those down times. And with that confidence, though, I've been able to encourage my band and just get something going to where I'm happy with the music we're making. And I'm excited to release the music, and I'm excited to play the music. A lot of our scene in San Antonio, it's so funny because we get put on like these really, really hardcore shows because San Antonio scene, a lot of it is hardcore. But even these guys, they have really heavy music compared to mine. So whenever I go up there, I'm like, "Look, we are not something you can mosh to, but I hope you guys enjoy it." And people tend to enjoy the sound and everything, and they tend to enjoy us being so different from everybody else. And that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be different from everybody else.
I remember having to do an acoustic tour, or we did an acoustic tour just because our drummer, we couldn't find, obviously couldn't go all three of us because our drummer had picked up another job and whatever. So we're like, okay, let's just go, me and the bass player. And we ended up in Reno getting sandwiched between two metal bands, acoustic, pop punk. We're like, oh God, they're going to hate us. Oh, well, drink some whiskey and go nuts.
Yep. That's the way to do it. You just got to go out there and put yourself out there, whether or not it's it.
Cats.
Yeah, he has cats. This is Coraline. He handed her to me. I love cats. But you just have to put yourself out there, whether or not people like you. There's always going to be one person, at least in the crowd, that is drawn to you. And even if you are in an empty room, I always feel like you should give it your all, because there's always going to be somebody listening to you, whether it's the bartender, whether it's the door people. Somebody's always listening, and somebody's happy to listen to you, which I appreciate. Whenever I go to shows, I always appreciate people who come up to me afterwards, because I'm like, hey, somebody liked it. Somebody thought we did a good performance, even though every performance has its mess ups, and you will never have the perfect performance.
Oh yeah, I'm always my worst critic, so doesn't matter if what people say or whatever. It's no, they can't say anything worse than what's going on in my head.
This mess up and this mess up. You did this, we did this. Oh man, this is bad. We did really bad. But then you have that one person who's really drunk. Usually, they're like, "You did great." We're like, "Okay, they're drunk. They enjoyed it."
Buy this guy more drinks.
Yes, exactly. I remember we played a show in Austin, and the only girls that were listening were really, really drunk. But we have a cover of Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. So they were jamming to that hardcore. Like, that's always either a hit or miss with the crowd, whether or not you have females in the crowd or if you have, like, really drunk males who love Katy Perry. So these girls were super drunk, and they were like, yeah. And I was like, dude, I'll get with y'all afterwards because y'all are dope. Like, y'all are supporting us and everything.
Right. All of a sudden, it's like this is going well.
Yeah, exactly. They give you that encouragement.
Why is this going well? Have you guys just ever heckled yourselves for the fun of it on stage?
What do you mean? Explain.
Because you kind of just make fun, like joke around with your bandmates.
Oh yeah, all the time. Like, there are times when we are performing. So I'm really short. I will put that out there. I'm really short. I'm 4'10", and my bandmate Chris, he's like maybe 5'8" or 5'9" or something. Everybody is taller compared to me. So whenever Chris is on stage and I'm on stage with Chris, and sometimes he likes to do these spins, and he spins with his guitar, and he's spinning, and then he always hits me in the head, and I'm like, whoa, dude, and I like push him out of the way or something, and like we're always doing that because this boy is constantly almost hitting me in the head with his guitar headstock, like constantly.
I've almost done that too.
You're like, guilty as charged. I've done that. It's been there. I think that's been with every bandmate that I've had. And then I tell Chris, like, I think he met up with the guys yesterday to teach them the songs and everything. And I was like, yeah, he almost hit me. And then I was like, but you do that on purpose. And he was like, yeah.
Chris says 5'11" to be exact. LOL.
Chris is still watching. That's so funny.
Hey, how do we do, Chris? We love you, Chris.
Oh, we love Chris. Chris is, even though he couldn't be here tonight, I definitely have a lot of love for Chris because he has not left my side.
Still supporting you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's watching this right now. Me telling everybody about how he's almost hitting me in the head on stage.
Chris, we love you.
Yeah,
We miss you.
they love Chris, like they do, and I do too.
My boyfriend.
He's good. He's good to us. Stop putting the laser on me.
Like, and he's still promoted it pretty well. Like,
Yeah. See, and the funny thing is though, and Chris will say this is true. Chris is the worst promoter, like the absolute worst. Like, I love him, but he is awful at promoting things, and I've had to get on them so many times. I'm like, look, you gotta start promoting. But I told him, like, I texted them earlier, and I was like, can y'all please just promote this, like, please? Because Chris, we've had
anything.
about that. Like, I'm usually the one promoting, and I've told them, I'm like, y'all need to get on the Instagram and promote things. It can't just be me because they're gonna know it's me, and y'all have to do this. And you know, I love them, and they're trying harder, which I appreciate, especially Chris. Even Chris was in a different band called Cool Guy Project, which is now Postcards from the Moon. They're some of our best friends. And whenever he was in there, he was bad at promoting as well. So whenever he promotes, even the guys from Postcards, they're like, Chris promoted? Are you okay?
What did you do? How did you make that happen?
What did you do to him? But no, he's getting better. He's getting more responsible. And Chris helps with so much, like, of everything. He helps write the songs, the music. He helps pay for things. So does Alfonso. Bringing Alfonso in, like, we brought Alfonso in last year, and he's been the best thing to happen to us, I think, because we hadn't had a solid drummer for a long time who wanted to stay because of the type of music we played. Everybody else, they want to play hardcore and everything. We're not hardcore. But Alfonso, he loves the music we play, which I can appreciate him being a drummer because that's one of the harder things to find, you know, solid drummer.
Sorry, I had a cough.
You're good.
No, yeah, like I found too, like certain drummers don't necessarily always fit the sound, but like sometimes if they're like, just a really good drummer,
Yeah.
they can take their sound and kind of incorporate it and make it sound good into whatever.
Yeah.
Like we've had our drummer was more like he was pop punk, but like he also was really heavy into like metal itself.
Mhm.
So he incorporated a lot of like just a lot of that stuff into his playing, and I thought it helped it out a lot.
Whenever like we've had drummers fill in that are like more heavier, I have noticed the difference. And I've never been opposed to it. I've always like liked it because a lot of the new songs we are writing, they are a bit not like super heavy, but they're a bit heavier in the feeling and a little bit darker than the first songs we wrote with Kevin. So with Alfonso and Chris, he actually has been in different bands to help them out and everything, and he's learned more like metal influences, which is good because it's making him a better guitarist, I feel like. And with those influences, he influences them onto our songs, which I can appreciate because it's like we don't have the same sound as when we first started, and we're slowly progressing. And from there, you can just progress into something different, and every song's not going to sound the same.
Right. Yeah. At least brings something dynamic into like everything you're doing.
Exactly.
Well, we are actually at the top of the hour. Do you guys have anything you want to plug right now, or obviously the new?
No, my thing's actually gonna die too. I'm a mess. But thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it. It was really fun. Like I appreciate you doing this and everything.
No problem. And like, when you guys start doing the new record, send me the link and stuff.
Okay.
Because I am trying to build more of a community than just the web show.
Yeah. No, what's happening?
And want to pimp everybody's stuff, like so.
Yeah.
Like Rihanna, who helps run the page, she's got her own music too. So like we aired her music video before the show one night.
That's dope. That's dope.
So that's what we're trying to do that with everybody. So if you guys ever want to come back on, hit me up. I'll put you guys on again.
Most definitely. I'll hit you up once we have everything together. Once we have the video coming out.
Hell yeah! No, I'll put it out during the day and stuff, like amidst the promo stuff.
All right.
Jess, thank you for coming on, guys. This was a perfect Jessica and Josh and Mike from A Perfect Season. From Perfect Season, not A Perfect Season. From Perfect Season. But thank you guys for coming on. You guys have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
And we are